So I was talking to a fella who had made the move from California to Florida, and he was telling me that Florida is much better governed, safer, better budget, lower taxes, all this stuff. And he's really happy with the quality of life. And then he paused and he said, by the way, I'm Gavin Newsom's father-in-law. So we do count Gavin's in-laws as some of the people that have fled California and come to the state of Florida.
It's the Dream Rare Podcast. Welcome to the show. The way to get the news at the desk or on the road. Let's go. God is great and success in our control. The world is crazy, but we get better from obstacles. Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's episode of the Dream Rare Podcast. I'm going to do my reaction to the Ron DeSantis and Gavin Newsom debate on Sean Hannity, Fox News. It's pretty interesting. I got a lot to say. I tried to make a mental note of everything that went on because it was pretty quick, a lot of different topics. So we'll wait till people get in a little bit and then I'll go off on it. Or I won't, because I don't want to be boring for people who rewatch it. Let's see who's in the chat. We got YouTube, we got Facebook. When was the debate? It was at 6 Pacific time, 9 Eastern time. So the debate started off, and I just want to, for those who get in, because I'm going to play this clip again because it was so fire, but I would say Ron DeSantis definitely won the debate. I think that Gavin Newsom's strategy was really interesting. He always, and I'm going to try to be as fair as I possibly can. Obviously, I lean more conservative because I think it's the truth, but when Newsom was asked the first question, it was, why is there a net migration from California to Florida as far as like hundreds of thousands of people are leaving California, hundreds of thousands of people are coming to Florida. They have a positive net migration. California has a negative one. Like, why are people leaving California? And if you live in California, you know that it's true. Like, if you're not doing well, even if you are doing well, if your business is good or it's not good, everyone knows the taxes are really high. Everybody knows that the crime in the cities is crazy. And I know like 15 people have moved from LA to Austin, Texas, or Florida, or somewhere else because it's too expensive. So Gavin Newsom, instead of answering the question, he just goes on this whole roundabout talking point rather, and says all this stuff. It has these little stats that like nobody really believes. And then he goes off and says, you're not even going to win president, or you're running for president and it doesn't even matter. And then I'm not going to blame everybody because not everyone's doing this, but I see a lot of people that like Trump a lot. They'll post those clips of like Gavin. They're like, oh, Gavin Newsom's crushing DeSantis. He's very witty and crafty, knowing that the social media age isn't going to go back and look at the entire debate. They're just going to see little clips out of context. So Gavin Newsom, every time he talks, he knows he can't defend the Democratic Party. He knows he can't defend Biden's horrible immigration policies. There's a point I'm going to show you guys in a second where Ron DeSantis picks up an LGBTQ book and says, hey, this isn't just LGBTQ, it's pornographic. And he literally shows the book. I'll just show you guys real quick. This was like, there's a lot of wild parts, but this is one of the most wild. DeSantis holds this book up and he literally shows it. He's like, yo, this is in California schools. And it doesn't seem like Newsom denies that it's in California schools. He just goes on this roundabout talking point thing about how Ron DeSantis reminds him of somebody who hates gay people or whatever. And then he says, I don't like the way you treat gay people. And it's like, so you didn't deny that book is in schools. You roundabout said, oh, that's not in the curriculum, but is it in the school though? Like, what school is it in? He didn't deny it. He just basically said, you're being too mean. But he knows, like, I can't defend that book's in a school. Like, that's kind of weird for it to be in a kid's school. So rather than defend it, I'm just going to say talking points that I know if you take them out of like context or just like, just chop them up, that they're going to sound really, really good. And he threw a lot out for liberals, obviously, but even Newsom threw out some for Trump supporters. Like, he knows that Trump supporters don't like Gavin or don't like Ron DeSantis. Sorry if I mixed their names up. You know what I'm talking about. So, instead of answering certain questions, he just goes off with this like talking point that he's like, I know Trump supporters are going to share this. And I saw a lot of people doing it. They're like, oh, look, DeSantis got owned here. And it's like, he really didn't though, because Newsom didn't answer the question. He just said that because he knew that you were going to clip it. He knew that you don't like him. So you're going to clip it and act like he owned him. Another one, I know I'm flying all over the place. Maybe I should slow it down and go topic to topic, but maybe it's more fun to just be like, woo, like a wine mom on a Wednesday night that she has 2 hours. Woo, you know what I'm saying? Just start hitting all the topics. Like, where was I again? I think I'm doing that. I'm not sticking to a topic. I'm just going where I want to go. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, you know what I'm saying, literally. So Ron goes off about how California had a really harsh lockdown and then Gavin Newsom, sorry, I'm like in my head, I'm like, am I saying the right name or am I mixing them up? So DeSantis said to Newsom that they had a really harsh lockdown. And then Newsom went to DeSantis and said, you locked down before I did, or you did this before I did. You were pro-vaccine. You locked down just as hard as me. He tried to play that game. And I'm not saying that Ron didn't make a mistake, but here's what we do know. I've talked about the mistakes Ron's made 1,000 times. Ron DeSantis opened his state way quicker than Newsom. Everybody knows that. Florida was known by the media and even Democrats like Newsom for 2 years as the open state, and they shamed him for being open. Now, I hope people are paying attention, especially left-wingers, that Newsom is basically just acting like it never happened. It's like the most extreme gaslighting. You could say that DeSantis made mistakes, but it makes more sense to say that DeSantis made mistakes if you're Kristi Noem, like I never locked down at all, or if you're like Peter McCullough, you get what I'm saying? But if you're just a Democrat who had one of the harshest lockdowns and everybody knows you had one of the harshest lockdowns, how are you going to sit there and now basically try to say like, oh, everyone did what I did? They actually didn't though. I lived in California. I've been to Florida. I've been to Texas. I'm not saying it was perfect, but everybody knows that liberal areas and Democrat areas had stricter lockdowns in almost every sense of the word. I live in a conservative county, so a lot of times they weren't really listening to Gavin Newsom, but I had friends coming from LA and they're like, dude, you can eat in a diner here. And they're like, we haven't eaten inside in 2 years. Like Gavin Newsom led this state with an iron fist, and the liberal mayors were the ones that were enforcing it even harder. But then he just sits there, and this is like the wittiness of Gavin Newsom. I don't like him. I don't trust him. He looks like a villain. I think he lost the debate heavily. I think DeSantis dominated him. I'm going to get to other topics. But the one thing he's good at is saying things that he knows that people are going to clip up, even if it has nothing to do with the question, just a talking point that sounds good. And that's a lot. When I was liberal, when I was like in my early 20s, or I wasn't fully liberal because I wasn't that brainwashed, but the things that got to me were things that just sounded good that I never challenged. But once I got to the age to challenge them, I remember asking questions and no one can answer the questions. That's kind of like Gavin's strategy. It's like, okay, I know this is indefensible or it's not true. So like, how do I just say something that doesn't address what you just said that sounds like something people are going to want to hear and make me look like a hero? Similar to what Elon said in my last video, if you haven't seen it, where he said, I'm tired of people that they just want to sound good, but they're not good. He's like, I actually want to do good, not just sound like I'm doing good and do evil. And that's like a lot. I'm not just saying right wingers are good and left wingers are bad. It's not true. Most politicians are fake, but that is kind of like the strategy they use. They use the faux social justice, fake social justice to make it appear as if they're really saying something while they're ignoring the problem. And on COVID, the point that I want to get to is, Newsom said, oh, DeSantis did this, this, and this. And then a bunch of people on the right that like Trump and hate Newsom, they just clipped it up and they're like, DeSantis is cooking Gavin Newsom. But you're not even thinking about what that means. It means that Newsom knows that he was wrong to close down the schools. He knows he was wrong for locking down longer. He's basically admitting defeat while looking like the hero. He's not saying, oh, you should have really locked down for 3 years. We should still be locked down. Everyone should wear masks. He's like, you did it too. You did it too. Yeah, but you did it way harder than him and you did it way longer than him. So it's so interesting how most people, I'm not acting like I'm so smart, but they're not smart enough to realize, like left wingers listening to him, it's like Gavin Newsom's basically admitting that he was wrong without saying he was wrong and spinning it to act like everyone was doing exactly what he was doing. And it's simply not true. Ron DeSantis turned the corner 2 years before Gavin Newsom did. DeSantis did do a bunch of wrong things, but he changed it real quick. And all these Democrats were shitting on everybody who were opening for 2 years. They just shit on us. And now they're just pretending like they always were us. They're like, oh, we were just like you. It was no different. It was. Come on. People got to see through that, right? Another topic like this was crime. They showed crime statistics. If you live, not just in California, by the way, if you live anywhere in the country, crime is rising, even in suburbs, even in nice areas. Like crime in the country is not what it used to be, and people are stealing a lot of stuff. Everybody knows it, especially if you live in Los Angeles, especially if you live in San Francisco, but all over the country. Everybody knows that theft is on the rise for multiple reasons. I don't feel like getting into it, but like everybody knows that things are not that safe. So Gavin Newsom just spits out all these talking points. And I thought that that was one of the best moments of the debate for Ron. Like, he just kept saying, like, I know people in California, they can't even go out to dinner wearing jewelry because they might get robbed. And here's the thing, like, DeSantis was speaking really bluntly about that. Everybody in California knows this. If you're liberal, you know this. If you're conservative, you know this. If you love Joe Biden, you know this. If you like Trump, you know this. If you live in Orange County, you know this. If you live in San Bernardino County, you know this. If you live in Los Angeles County, you know this. If you live in whatever San Francisco County is called, it probably has a name. Everyone knows this. So I don't think that Gavin's gaslighting will work there, because even if you're like a huge liberal and you live in like West Hollywood or Santa Monica, like, you know that your area has declined. Like, it's impossible not to know. Like, you could blame this person, or you could blame Reagan or Biden or Newsom or whoever the weird mayor is now. I don't even know who the mayor is anymore, but it wasn't Rick Russo, which it probably should have been. I don't know why people don't vote for him. But anyway, everyone knows that, like, it's not true. Like, oh, California is so safe. One thing that Gavin Newsom said that was so crazy, I wish I could find the clip for you guys, but I don't know where it is. He tried to say that, and I don't know if he misspoke or I misheard it. I got to find it again, but I'm pretty sure he said that the millionaires and billionaires in California are taxed less than the working people in Florida. He's like, the working people in Florida are taxed more than the billionaires and the millionaires in California. And I was like, that's not even remotely true. But it's also not true that working class people in Florida are taxed more than working class people in California. The income tax, like the spins that this guy does, it's genius if he's talking to low information people, which is probably more than half the country. But it's like, does anyone know? Like, I'm gonna leave California. I've been here for a long time because I like where I'm at. I didn't like Los Angeles that much, but it was cool for what I needed to do and being there and stuff. But now I like where I'm at. It's clean, it's nice, it's safe. I think it's better than a lot of places in Florida, to be honest. But it's the tax, the business tax. The more you make, the more they take. Even if you don't make a lot, they take a lot. When I had no money, they had an individual mandate, and they made me get health insurance I didn't need, couldn't afford, and didn't work. And that cost thousands of dollars. Gas is higher here. Taxes are insane. Business tax is nuts. I'm going to leave the state that I like literally because of that. And everybody I know is leaving. I know people, my family, my friend's family who's lived here for 50 years. They make a lot of money. They're leaving. My friend in LA who was doing all right, but he wasn't making that much. He went to Texas. My other friend went to Florida. Like, everyone's leaving, whether they're making a lot, medium amount, pretty good, really good, not good at all. Like, why would you want to be here when they just steal your money all the time? Everyone knows that. So I don't get what he was trying to say. Like, oh, the working class people in Florida are taxed more than the rich people here. Like, no, I don't even make that much. Like, he's talking millionaires and billionaires. Dude, you don't even, like, you start making a little money, you start doing pretty well. It's insane how much they take in this state. And I'm doing the math. It's like, why be here? If they're going to take tens of thousands of dollars from me that I wouldn't pay in Florida, why be here? I could just buy a nicer place in Florida, own it, whatever. And as my business scales, they just take more. So it's like, the spins that this guy did were nuts. And here's what I have to say. I'm glad they didn't talk about foreign policy at all, because this is like a governor versus governor debate. Can we please talk about America one time? Thank God that they just talked about America, because that's what it should have been about. Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida. Let's talk governor. Let's talk America. That's what they did. DeSantis dominated. He's really, really good. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I'm going to vote for DeSantis or Trump or any of these characters, because I just feel like they're all working for a foreign country, and they say it's hate speech when I say it, and they try to pass laws to make it illegal to say. So I'm just kind of tapped out. I think they're all pretty much controlled opposition. Sorry if that bothers you. But with that being said, I don't think Trump could have debated Newsom that well. Newsom's very sneaky. He's very crafty. He had his little moments. DeSantis dominated him. I thought he spoke very authentically. He spoke with conviction. I think he did a really, really good job. And I've been saying for a long time that domestically, conservative and liberals, there's two different ideologies. I mean, just look at lockdowns. It's like, we want a lockdown for 2 years, but this is so crazy. Like, it's just so nuts watching Gavin Newsom. He plays, this is how sneaky he is. He does that role where, like, DeSantis opens up way earlier. Newsom locks down for 2 years, way longer. Everybody knows it. And then, like, 2 years later, he's like, we both did the same thing for COVID. Kind of. No, you didn't, dude. I'm not someone that says that DeSantis didn't mess up. He messed up. Trump messed up. The whole GOP messed up, or they're just in on it. I don't know. But it's like, you messed up way more than they did by far. Even, you even got to give Trump credit for having rallies in 2020. So at least he was putting his money where his mouth is and doing outside events in Arizona and such to allow people to congregate and be human again. And Newsom didn't do that. Kristi Noem, I performed at Sturgis in 2020. I flew to South Dakota. I felt like a free man. It's like not even the same planet. So the liberal way of just like doing something so horrible and then 2 years later say that you never did it and basically try to say that DeSantis, who you said was killing people because he opened, actually locked down too much and you're kind of the same as him. Like the passive aggressive psychological manipulation of like the left wing is insane. And I think Newsom is a master at it. Like, I think, I've always thought he was kind of like weird and dumb. Like obviously he like looks like a movie character and stuff. The first thing I noticed was his teeth were like 15 shades brighter than DeSantis's teeth. And if if DeSantis doesn't have bright enough teeth, just send me in there. I'll smile. Me and Newsom can have a smile battle and see if we blind each other. But in general, he's actually really smart and really crafty with how he portrays that Democrat message. It's like, do something horrible for 2 years, laugh about it, make a talking point that has nothing to do with it, and then basically say that, Republicans did the same thing as Democrats, which everybody knows is not true. It's pretty wild. The one moment that I thought he actually did good was on abortion, not because I think he's correct, but, they had a debate about abortion. It's a hot button issue. For some reason, women want to just like, they want that so bad. It's pretty creepy, but it's like, I get it. Like you want to, what I'm saying? Do that to like, it's just weird that that's like such a big issue to people, but it is, and it is changing elections. So I do think that people do care about it on both sides, but a lot of women want their abortions and a lot of men want them to get aborted or whatever. But Newsom, he didn't answer the question, but he did he drove home a talking point. Like I could just see social media era, like Newsom, he's just ignoring the question. And he's like, I'm going to just say this like this, and you're going to be extreme. You're going to be extreme on a national scale, and you won't answer yes or no. So it's like DeSantis didn't want to say that. He didn't want to say that, and he turned it into a viral clip of like, you're going to take away everyone's abortions in the world. And, and it's like, that's going to be on I could already see that's going to be on every liberal page tomorrow. Here's the one clip that I thought was the most fire clip. I wouldn't say it's the most substantive, but dude, Ron DeSantis was cooking. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to play this clip real quick. He said, I talked to this guy, he moved down to Florida, told me about how hard California was, and it was your father-in-law. Ooh, come on, stop, guys. That was fire. Hold on. I'll play it real quick.
So I was talking to a fella who had made the move from California to Florida, and he was telling me that Florida is much better governed, safer, better budget, lower taxes, all this stuff. And he's really happy with the quality of life. And then he paused and he said, by the way, I'm Gavin Newsom's father-in-law. So we do count Gavin's in-laws as some of the people that have fled California and come to the state.
I mean, that was pretty gangster. I like that. Let's see what you guys are saying. I'm going to read some of the comments, but I thought that was a really good line. And, I can't tell how people are going to perceive stuff anymore because I feel like I'm on the level I'm on. I'm in the mindset I'm in. You're where you're at, and everyone else isn't where we're at. And I think this is important moving forward too for politics. We all have to understand. I'll say we, so I don't sound so condescending. We have to understand that everybody doesn't think like us. So I think that when certain things go on in politics, people are in their head so much that they just think everyone can see it. Like I could see that DeSantis cooked Newsom, but I could also see that Newsom had his moments. Like he ignored the first question completely. And then he said, you're just running for president. You're not going to be president. Newsom knew he was on Fox News. Newsom knows millions of Trump supporters hate Ron DeSantis. Newsom knew millions of Trump supporters are not going to be accurate at who's winning the debate. So they chopped up, I'm not saying every Trump supporter, but some chopped up that clip and they said, Newsom's crushing DeSantis because he knows the little corny jokes you guys do. DeSanctimonious, you're never going to be president. Like they can study the things that make you go hardy har har. So it's like he says that, completely ignores the question, doesn't answer it at all. Sounds like a moron, but in the age of social media, Newsom knows that that's going to be put on a bunch of pages and people are just going to laugh at Ron and his boots and whatever. And, I've seen some people do that, but a lot of people were giving Ron credit. And you have to say, on a domestic level, I personally don't think that, and I'm not, trust me, I don't have like a bias against, like, I don't even know if I want to vote for any of these people. I'm not like on the DeSantis campaign. I'm not on the Trump campaign. You can't pay me to say this or that. I don't care. I don't want your sponsor. I don't care. I don't think Trump is able, I don't think he would have been able to disarm Newsom that way. I just don't. I think the way that DeSantis handled it was very impressive. I think he was really good, on point, said what he had to say, came off authentic. There were moments that Newsom had a little jabs and stuff, but for the most part, Newsom is very crafty. He's not dumb. He knows how to work a thing. And I think DeSantis caught him slipping a few times where it's just like, he looked kind of stupid. But I think that, but do liberals think that? They probably will find a clip and be like, oh, that's the age we're in. And I'm not making fun of people. Like, I get it. I don't know where I would have been if I wasn't here. I feel like Rod Stewart. I wish I knew what I knew now when I was younger. I don't know, Socrates. I don't, a man who knows nothing knows everything, whatever. I'm just joking. But, it's like, I don't know what I would have been doing if I wasn't doing this, but because of my job and I do social media analysis, I almost take it upon myself to be a fact checker, in the sense of like, I don't believe things I see on Instagram if they're not true. I don't believe clips. I do this for a living, so I have to like study to make sure I know what I'm talking about before I play something and it's fake. So like, what I'm saying is, a lot of people don't do that. They just go on Instagram, they just go on TikTok, they just go on Twitter, and they just see a clip. And then they think that that clip's right. I don't do that. I don't think I would have done that even if I didn't do this. But because I do this, I don't just like see things and be like, oh, that must be true because Lynn Wood posted it. I'm like, I don't believe it until I triple check it and look around and make sure it's real. I don't want it to be AI or fake or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be out of context. So I do a lot of checking, but most people don't. So I think that Newsom knows how to work that. He knew how to say certain things, and DeSantis knew how to say certain things. Like, he knew how to take certain jabs, knowing that that was going to be a moment. And that's the world we live in. You want to have moments. And same with this. Like, if I wanted to turn this, I do different Instagram reels and TikToks than I do YouTube's. But if I wanted to turn this into like an Instagram reel, then I'd be thinking in like 30-second moments, and I'd be like, ugh, and then I'd clap for myself after and be like, yeah, I'm gonna cut that out. But the point that I'm trying to make, I don't know if that got lost in translation, is it's not just about what we think. It's about the perception of everybody. And I think that Newsom is well-versed on that, and he's very sneaky at that. I think DeSantis is doing a good job of that. Trump is already really popular and Joe Biden sucks. So I think that like Trump is a front runner for obvious reasons, and he should be able to win. It shouldn't be that hard to win against Joe Biden. Only a colossal mess up would change that, or an election that was like totally stolen. But in general, I would say the facts and the information are on our side. It's just the presentation we have to do. And I want to say this real quick before I read a few comments, is one thing that bothers me in politics, I would say in the Trump camp, but also in the DeSantis camp, is everybody just like, they want to just be on a team and they just want to like fight with people. But in order to truly be effective at communication and truly be effective at politics, it's not just about the people who like you. It's about the people that don't like you or that are on the fence. That's who you need to convince. And then when you get in, you should supply the people who voted for you and actually do what you said you do. But in general, which they never do. But I think in the Trump world, I'm going to start with the Trump world, then I'm going to go to the DeSantis world, because I see they're both kind of cringe in my opinion, is Trump people, and I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people on the Trump side, they just want to Trump out. They just want to Mike Lindell, Carrie Lake, Trump out, Trumped out. That's all they want to do. And if you're not Trumping out, it's not cool. But like, that seems insane to like everybody else in the world that's not in that zone, including a lot of people that want to vote for Trump over Biden. But it's like, it doesn't make sense. On that note, with DeSantis, I see a lot of DeSantis influencers on Twitter, and it's like, I don't know what they're doing, but they're just like yelling at everybody all the time, calling everybody anti-Semitic, like being like, oh my God, the crowd size. And it's like, I think a lot of DeSantis influencers are right about certain things, but their approach is kind of cringe. And then at certain points they get kind of weird and fake. And long story short, it's like, you got to get out of your own little world and figure out how to make the message get across. And sometimes it is like a bully pulpit game where like Trump is the big bully. DeSantis couldn't figure out how to like shake the image, and he's falling behind because Trump is so good at playing like, I'm the alpha, you're a little beta boy, I'm arrested, I'm a victim, you got to vote for me, you're unloyal, you shouldn't challenge me. And he's got enough support and he's pulled enough people in where it's really working, and it's all about perception. Like in general, I think there's a lot of people who are going to vote for things that don't make sense on all sides. And then there's going to be some people who vote for things that do make sense. But at the end of the day, it's the people who put their name down, or, it's who you vote for and how many votes they get. And that's who wins. It doesn't matter if you're you've studied this for 5,000 hours or you've just heard a clip on Jon Stewart. Like, your vote counts the same as mine. So I would say that this was an important debate, in my opinion. We'll see what happens, but you got to figure out how to combat what left wingers are doing. I think that DeSantis did a fantastic job today. And, I hope that people figure out how to, dispel the games that they're playing without just kind of like grifting too hard off what they already have and being like, we don't care what everyone thinks. Someone said Anomaly trusts the plan. Trump is actually running the government from a yellow submarine off the coast of Florida. Oh yeah, I follow this guy on Instagram. He says Trump's in a submarine under Guantanamo Bay. Any minute now, he's gonna just press a button, and Tesla's Space Force time machine is gonna, turn Biden into the hologram he always was. But someone said in the comments before, it's like held on to me now. I'm just repeating it, but they're like, oh, AJ Anomaly's just making excuses for, why DeSantis smiles weird. And it's like, he does kind of smile weird sometimes, and his teeth aren't as bright as, Gavin Newsom's teeth, but that's not what I'm doing here. It's not like I'm like, oh, I don't listen to anything. I just look at how he smiles weird. And, since Gavin Newsom smiles brighter, I'm going to vote for him. And Trump smiles better. It's like, it's not like a smile is important. It's part of who you are. But like, that's not what I took from the debate. It wasn't like, oh, let me figure out 30 minutes. I'll talk in circles just to cover up Ron DeSantis's smile. And it's like, do you think that's what I did here? Like, oh, I'm just like looking and I'm like, how do I talk about the actual subject of the debate and what really matters? But the thing is, perception does matter. Like when Ron Paul was on stage, he looked too small. Like I get it now. I see old clips of him on the stage and he looked like almost like a 15-year-old boy wearing like a suit that was like 3 sizes too big for him. And he was like, you know what I'm saying? And I love Ron Paul. I think he's him and Thomas Massie are my 2 favorite politicians probably ever at this point. And Thomas Massie's still there. Ron Paul's not. But Ron Paul, like, he didn't have the energy and the perception. I know they cheated him, but he did look really small on stage. Someone said cheeseburgers are delicious, bro. I'm on a fast right now. Don't be talking about cheeseburgers, because I've thought about a cheeseburger 15 times today. That's so mean. I'm doing a water fast and a bone broth fast for 72 hours. I'm on like hour 55. I feel good though. I got a lot of energy, but stop talking about hamburgers. That's messed up, bro. That's hate speech. That's hate speech. We need to call the ADL and other people to yell at you. But yeah, like, it is part of the equation of like, it's not all what you say. Sometimes it is like how you look and what you do. So it's worth thinking about. Someone said, let's take a poll of who has the worst case of TDS, Anomaly or Hillary Clinton. It's not Trump derangement syndrome. People that have Trump derangement syndrome, it goes both ways. It's like liberals like Rachel Maddow have Trump derangement syndrome, and Alec Baldwin before he shot somebody. But, and then there's people who are so obsessed with Trump that they can't think straight. It's like, let me just talk about Ron DeSantis' smile for 5 hours. Like, you've gone insane also. You're deranged. You have TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. It's just in the favor of him where like you can't. He's your whole world. He's your whole universe. Like everything he said, like you have no baseline anymore. If DeSantis does this, it's so bad. But if Trump does it, it's not as bad because I want to believe it's not bad. Like that's a derangement syndrome also. That's like, it's insane. It's like I could call a spade either way. Some people can't. I get why women do it, because a lot of women are like secretly attracted to Trump because he's an attractive guy, even though he's almost 80. But like, he's an alpha male. Like women do it because they're like obsessed with him because they want to marry him. But like, why do grown men? I just think it's so creepy when like grown men are like 55 and they're like, I'd leave my wife now for Trump. You have Trump derangement syndrome. I'm like, you have Trump derangement syndrome, bro. You're not a real man. You're like, living vicariously through another guy, that your wife probably likes more than you. Like, it's creepy, like, why can you have like a thought, like, why do you make excuses for things you don't believe for a guy that you wouldn't do that for DeSantis or someone else? Like, it's just so weird to me, but whatever. I understand supporting, voting, liking somebody, but it's like, you're deranged. It's like, you're deranged. It's okay though. Anomaly, when do you think Americans deserve for President Biden? I love how my opinion matters on this. I know it's my show, but it's like, Anomaly, when do I think Americans deserve? First of all, I know I like myself, and some people think I could be a little rude or something, but I don't think I'm important enough to like tell you when Americans deserve something. Like, when Americans deserve it, they'll get it. But I'll read the question. I just think it's funny. Like, I'm not in charge of what Americans do and don't get. But when do you think Americans deserve for President Biden to publicly take a cognitive impairment evaluation test for the sake of national security? I think people should just focus on this next election at this point. I mean, it would be nice if he took a test, but like, clearly he's old. He's really old. And even with the impeachments, people are like, we need to impeach Biden. What are you talking about? The election is in like less than 12 months. Just win the election. Like, Joe Biden's old. Everyone knows he's old. I'm not trying to yell at you. I'm just saying. My jaw's been good, but I just chewed gum for like 2 hours, so that didn't really help. But it's been good. Out of everything, I was talking to doctors, people. I just listened to my mom, and my mom was like, you know what? She's like, you probably have the jaw thing like everybody else. She was like, take an Advil, get some rest. And I did it, and I felt fine. I was like, out of all the doctor advice, it was my mama that told me what it was. She was like, half the country has like this jaw thing. Just do this. And I was like, all right. And I feel good. But I just chewed on gum for 2 hours like a psychopath. So my jaw hurts now, but that I know why. In general, I just want people to win the next election. I don't know about cognitive tests or, impeachments at this stage. It's like, let's figure out how to get enough people on our side. But then also let's make a side that's worth getting on. You know what I'm saying? My biggest part with Trump and DeSantis is like, I don't know. I don't care that they have certain allies in foreign countries, and I don't want to talk about it too much because I want to stick to the debate. But I don't like that they're so obsessed with it that they're passing speech laws that say it's hate speech to say they're taking money from donors to do that. It's insane what they're doing. So it's like, I don't care for Trump or DeSantis now, but I do think DeSantis hires better people and does better domestic work. But if DeSantis is such a psycho that he wants to pass 13 speech laws, then I don't know if I want him to have that power, because he clearly does like to use the power for the good and for the bad. So it's like, Trump he seems to trip over his own feet and just be really funny. DeSantis seems to get stuff done, but I want him to get good stuff done, not like pass speech laws that throw me in prison for saying that he took donor money to sell the country out to a foreign country. That's not really fun. So, I don't really trust Trump or DeSantis. I think they're both controlled opposition, but I'm more impressed with DeSantis's domestic policy. And I'm more impressed with Trump's comedy and ability to completely mind control 100 million conservatives from thinking rationally, and also confuse liberals into like, Trump essentially just changed the gender of liberals. I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying he got in and liberals were like, they forgot their gender. They're like, they forgot everything. They were like, what gender am I? Do we even care about anything anymore? Do we like lobbyists now in the pharmaceutical industry? Do we support Citizens United? Are we even protesting Wall Street anymore? Like, Trump gets in, everyone loses their mind. Left wingers lose their gender. Right wingers lose bump stocks in the economy and then blame Joe Biden for it, even though he did make it worse, but Trump started it. It's like, it's a fascinating psychological thing, but I'm here to talk about the Newsom and DeSantis debate. Let me read a few comments real quick. Someone said, too bad DeSantis doesn't hire good people for his own campaign. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie, I don't like a lot of people that DeSantis surrounds himself with, like as far as like in the media. It seems like the people who like him are like way more like war hockey and way more like calling people names. I'm just so annoyed with the Republican Party because they constantly say, oh my gosh, everything's hate speech doesn't exist. Hate speech doesn't exist. Go to foxnews.com right now. What's the first thing that comes up? Let me see. I want to see if it's still there. There's always like those little news tabs for what's the first news tab? Let me see. On mine, it's anti-Semitism exposed. They don't believe in hate speech, but everything's anti-Semitic. And go to the California GOP Instagram. The entire thing is just calling people anti-Semitic. So they don't believe in hate speech, but they just call everybody hate speech, and they pass hate speech laws for anti-Semitism, and they change the definition of what it means, and they try to make it illegal to boycott and protest. It's like they're psychopaths. The Republican Party are controlled opposition psychopaths. But, DeSantis is good at domestic policy. Trump is good at comedy. And, I don't like a lot of the people that DeSantis hired for his campaign. However, I don't know if it's possible to beat Trump. Trump just has like a cult following, like Trump. It's like if DeSantis like pissed on the street. I'm just giving you an example, and I'm not mad at it. I'm just analyzing it. If DeSantis took his dick out and just started pissing on the street and like it got filmed, people like Trump supporters would be like, oh my gosh, that's disgusting. Put that away. But if Trump did it, they'd be like, damn, how cool was that? Trump had his penis out. Wow. Trump was pissing. That was great. I love that piss. I put my face like that's just the truth. It's like if DeSantis does this, it's so crazy. When Trump does it, it's either really cool or he didn't know what he was doing and it's not his responsibility and he's a victim. And it's like, Trump has like a mind control over enough people on the right. I don't think there's anything that DeSantis could have done. I don't think he could have done anything. Like, he was doing well until Trump got arrested, and Trump's like, oh my gosh, I'm arrested. I'm a victim. Oh my gosh, be loyal. And everyone's like, we're loyal. And, dude, people were already over his shtick for like 3 months. DeSantis was leading in some polls. And then he's like, I'm the victim. And people were like, oh, it's like, that's just what it is. I'm not mad. I'm not arguing. I'm not jealous. I don't care. It's just like, I'm just analyzing the situation. And it's like, I've been more happy just not even caring about it that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. It's like, oh my gosh, the Democrats are after me. Now we're never going to talk about what happened in 2020 and everybody's going to forget about it. And Gavin Newsom's going to lie about it. And it's like, okay, what's the new thing? Ukraine. Oh wait, no, Israel. We shouldn't give money to Ukraine, but we should give money to Israel though, but not to Ukraine, but to Israel. But we'll give money to both of them and we'll cave. But I mean, we tried not to cave. It was my advisor. I mean, my advisor told me that, and I'm the quarterback, but apparently I have no power, but I'm not a puppet. That's hate. It's like whatever. Dr. Shiva, someone said, I like Dr. Shiva. I've had him on my podcast multiple times. I just don't think he has a chance to win. I wish him well. I hope he, does well, but he's just not going to. I'm not trying to be a dick. I like Dr. Shiva. If he saw this, he'd probably get mad at me, but like, he's not going to clear like 3% of the vote. So, it's like when Ye said he was going to run, it's like, where is he? He hasn't even surfaced in a year. He was always getting mad at people that were like, yo, I don't know if you have it. Like, if you're going to really try to run, it's not even like there's so many games being played. You have to really try, spend a lot of money. Like, you can't just like wing it if you want to run, in my opinion, whether you're Ye or Shiva. I just don't think it's possible to win, like running a campaign, like kind of like, you got to like hundreds of millions of dollars, get in the party, get on the debate stage, or, do something so extraordinary outside of that. If not, you're just cosplaying running, in my opinion. Let me see real quick. Someone said, good question, Duke. What did he ask? Let me see. Anomaly, do I believe Trump is actually too scared to debate because of warp speed? He doesn't need strategically. He never needed to debate because once he got arrested in New York, like he surged in the polls and it was over. But in general, I don't think he would do well on a debate stage with DeSantis. You got to remember, when Trump debated Hillary, he bullied her. When Trump debated Jeb Bush and a bunch of those other clowns, he sunned them. In the 2020 debate, I know it was rigged against him. I know that Biden sucks, but like Trump didn't do that good. Like at a 10, like I like Trump. I wanted him to do well. I wish he did better. I think they cheated against him and like rigged it against him. But what's it called? They had the Chris Wallace or Mike Wallace or whatever the guy's name is, the interviewer, the host. But in general, like Trump didn't do that well. So since then, like the Trump of 2018 is not the Trump of now. Like, listen to him debating Megyn Kelly. He sounds like a clown. Listen to him debating like Candace Owens. He sounds like a clown. So like, I think Trump would have got embarrassed off that stage. I think that Vivek would have made him look dumb. I think that DeSantis would have made him look dumb. I don't even like Chris Christie, but Chris Christie probably would have even made him look like, I don't think Trump is who everyone thinks he is anymore. So yeah, I do think he's scared to debate warp speed. I think he's scared to debate everything. Like, why? He's the incumbent, like, fall back, let everybody else play. I'm going to win anyway. Strategically, it's smart, but I don't think Trump could have done good against Newsom at all. I don't think he's like, he's not that guy. Like, I don't think he could have done well. So yeah, but no one will ever know. Some people in the comments are saying BS. Like, it's like, we'll never know because he didn't show up to the debate because he didn't have to, because the Democrats totally spontaneously, like, totally arrested him or whatever to send him surging in the polls and get him a bunch of money so he could go on Fox News and Newsmax and say that Gavin Newsom is like, he likes Gavin Newsom. Yeah, totally no red flags there. Just like at the World Economic Forum, he's like, Klaus Schwab's doing a fantastic job. Nothing to see here, Patriots. Just totally good debater that's totally on your side. Like, it's whatever. If people want to believe in it, they can. I'll probably I wouldn't say he's scared, but he's almost 80 years old. He's a shell of who he once was. His interviews now are just him talking in circles like a grandpa. He lies about Operation Warp Speed. He says it's one of the greatest human achievements. He references Democrats telling him it's so great. You think that would have played well on a Republican debate stage? Trump would have looked like an idiot. You know what I'm saying? It's fascinating to me how pathetic all these men in the conservative party is and how Trump has them by the nutsack. Megyn Kelly gave the best interview and Candace Owens gave the best interview, and they're two women. And I'm not saying that women can't give good interviews, but like, all the men in the Republican Party are so cucked to Trump. It's ridiculous. But it's like, he's sitting there on television saying his vaccine saved 100 million lives and it's one of the greatest human achievements in modern history because a Democrat friend told him to. And none of these cuck losers, no offense, but the Republican Party, none of them have any journalistic backlash. Like, you think that Trump would have got laughed off the debate stage, but honestly, he probably wouldn't have, because he's such a character in people's minds. It's like Trump could take crap, throw it in their face, and they'd say it's chocolate rain. Like, he knows that all the Republican men are like cucked to him and they're like his little dogs. So he doesn't have to do anything. Like, Trump could stand on a stage and say like, you know what? I made a mistake, and everyone would cheer. Or Trump could be like, you know what? I didn't make a mistake. My vaccine saved the world. I saved 100 million lives. It's a great human achievement. Johnson & Johnson's amazing. Moderna is amazing. Klaus Schwab did and people would make excuses for it. Like, Trump knows how pathetic most conservative men are. Like, they pretend like they're so tough and, they're so for America, but really they're like little Trump fanboys. They have pom-poms. It's like, he knows. And I'm not mad at him. Like, this is real man stuff. Like, if that's how pathetic all the men around you are, you're the man. They're all your little boys. You know what I'm saying? Go send them to get your coffee or something. That's the Republican Party to Trump. It's like, go get my coffee, like, you're embarrassing yourself. So I think in general, yeah, if that topic would have came up at it, like, Trump hasn't told the truth about that in 3 years. So he doesn't have to, though, because he goes to interview. Like, he's like, oh, Megyn Kelly was so mean to me. She wasn't mean. She gave you like 3 real questions. You sounded stupid. And then she apologized because everyone's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, sir. It's like, everyone's your butler. So stupid. But whatever. Someone said Ron DeSantis will get independents, voters, and Republic. I mean, I just don't think Ron DeSantis is going to beat Donald Trump. I don't think he could beat Trump. Someone said my thing is too bright. It might be, but I don't know. Like, I look super white here, but then when I like see it on my, I'm not good at lighting. Let's just put it that way, folks. I'm not a professional. And then when I see it on my like phone, I look like pink all of a sudden. Like, do I look pink to you guys? Because like I look like a Veruca Salt. Like, I'm just like purple. I'm like, that's not even how I look. I got to figure out what I'm doing. Let's put it that way. Someone said, Anomaly, you are really going off the rails these days. I can't listen to you anymore. I'm not going off the rails at all. I mean, I'm not mad at you, Leslie. You're like, I can't listen to you anymore, but you're literally listening. That's fine. Name one thing that I'm wrong about. And I'm not saying I can't be. It's like, can you like be specific? Like what? Because I break the illusion that everyone else is trying to cast. Like, what part of what I said is so wrong? Please tell me. Not mad. Someone said powder your face. No, I'd rather look normal and not that good than powder my face and wear makeup. DeSantis probably had makeup on. Newsom probably had makeup on. I'm a man. I'm not wearing makeup. I'd rather look like normal. It's like, oh, sometimes my hair looks like I used to like not comb it and stuff. But I'm like Albert. I'm like an entrepreneur. My hair's all over the place. Listen, I know I could look good when I look good. I'm not trying. It's not a beauty contest up here. I'm not powdering my face like a freaking Metro. I'm just up here being normal. If I look bad, just remember I could look good next time. I'm not that concerned about it. Bad lighting, that's probably true. Someone said truth kind of hurts. I'm just looking for what she said. I don't get upset by people that like disagree with me. It's fine. I get it. I'm just confused. Like people are like, you're crazy. You're off the rails. And then like Trump will be on stage and it'll be like, my vaccine saved 100 million lives. You know why I think that? Because a Democrat told me, a really smart Democrat told me my vaccine's really, really good. It's like the best ever. And then people are like, and I'm like, that's not true. I'm a real journalist. And people are like, Anomaly, you've lost your mind. You're crazy. You're crazy. It's like, oh yeah, I'm losing it, aren't I? Because I have a brain and a soul and I don't, like, whoa, yeah. Maybe what he meant was he saved 100 trillion lives by getting the time machine with the Gavin Newsom. You think about Pelosi. It's like, whatever you want to tell yourself, you're lying to yourself. I know you're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. That I know that that you're lying to yourself. And that's why you're still here saying, I can't listen to you, but you listen for an hour. It's like when your dad tells you to go to bed and you don't want to, but it's healthy because you got a sports game the next. But mommy tells you to stay up and eat ice cream, but it's not a good idea. Like Anomaly's daddy for a lot of people. And I'm not trying to be like weird with it, but I'm just saying like they hate it, but they're like, I'm leaving. And then they're like, I'm like, yo, I can see you there. And it's like, I'm like, why are you? Well, because I know what you're telling me is true. And I know all these other influencers are lying to me and I hate it. And but I don't like it, but I'm going to stay and listen. Cause it's like, I know how it goes. We've all been there, Let me see. Someone said your incessant complaint regarding taking donor money. You do not understand that everyone takes donor money. Great question. Let me drink this real quick. That's a great comment. Please, I'm going to repeat that because this is like the perfect thing to go off of. Thank you, Helfried. Appreciate you, brother or sister. I don't know if you're a guy or a girl. Sorry, it's a name I've never heard. Maybe you're neither. Maybe you're one of the other genders. Your incessant complaint regarding taking donor money. Do you not understand that everyone takes donor money? I understand that everyone takes donor money, and that's the issue with politics. It doesn't matter who wins if the same billionaires and elites and corporations are buying everyone off. I'm not singling out Trump or anything. It's just like you have loved Trump so much that you hate if I go like this, if I say Hillary Clinton takes donor money, yes. DeSantis takes donor money, yes. Or not Thomas Mass, he's probably the only one who doesn't, but he takes donor money, yes. And Trump takes donor money. It's like, it's like that's the part that like sets people off and they're like, no. It's like, no, that's the problem is that Trump ran on the premise of I'm not going to take their money. And that's what made him cool. But then when he took the money, his whole cabinet turned into the swamp. You think his cabinet turned into the swamp because he just made a mistake and he got tricked. But I'm telling you that his cabinet turned into the swamp because he took the money. When you take the money, you do something for the money. If I'm here selling a thing that is not my company, I took money to sell it. And, I just turned something down today because I didn't think it was ethical enough. And last time I did this to a different company, I said, this is why I'm not doing it. They actually changed their ingredients for me because they knew it was right. And then I advertised with them. I'm not even going to say what company, but every influencer, would advertise this stuff. And I said, this ingredient and this way of doing it is not that healthy. And they came back to me 3 months later and they said, we changed it the way that you wanted to because it's better. And now we'll advertise with you. That's what a boss I am. I tell them no. And then they go and change it and make it healthier for everybody. And all these other influencers will do whatever. They'll jump, hop, skip, whatever. But in general, the point that I'm saying is like, I know that everyone takes donor money, and that's why nothing changes. That's why after 4 years of Donald Trump, the country ends in a lockdown. He prints $6 trillion or whatever, and then he's out the door. Sayonara, that's why he gave $18 billion to the pharmaceutical industry. It's like when you take the money, you sell out. Obama takes the money, and then he's controlled by everyone. Trump takes the money, and then you think that his cabinet just miraculously got really corrupt. Like, name 5 people in Trump's cabinet that weren't complete swampers. I could go through his whole cabinet, tell you HHS, FDA. Did you know he put Mitch McConnell's wife as the head of transportation, where Pete Buttigieg is now? Oh, Pete Buttigieg sucks. Yeah, Pete Buttigieg does suck, and he doesn't deserve that position. But you know who else Trump gave it to? Mitch McConnell's wife. This is it's like clown world. 2 sides just yelling at each other. So no offense, but yes, a lot of, if not almost all politicians take the donor money. And that's the problem. And the problem is when you say Hillary's corrupt because she takes money, but when Trump takes money, you shouldn't talk about it because they all do. Oh, his cabinet sucks? I guess it's just a spontaneous coincidence he got fooled by Jared Kushner. It's grow up. It's I'm not even joking. I play with my nephews this weekend. I'd much rather talk to 5-year-olds than talk to 55-year-old people, 45-year-old people that can't figure out politics and they believe in it more than Santa Claus. It's so embarrassing, It's like kindergarten level thinking, but you're 55. It's nuts. Yes, everyone takes donor money. That's the problem. That's why. I could, and they write articles about me now, calling me a blank. I don't even want to give them any gas because who cares? Nobody reads them anyway. But in general, because I figured out who the top donors in the Republican Party are and in the Democratic Party. And when they gave hundreds of millions of dollars to the Republican Party, the Republican Party started passing hate speech laws, and they all were worded almost exactly the same. Could that have anything to do with the guy who gave them $200 million? Of course. That's why they're smearing me in the media, because I figured it out, but you guys can't figure it out. So I support them scamming you, because if you want that, then you get that. It's they're doing it. I figured it out. A lot of people figured it out. And you're like, well, everyone takes the money. Well, they take the money and then they do something. Why do they do that? Why? Because they, if someone gave you $200 million, you'd probably do a lot of stuff too. Most people would. Not everybody's ethical. I'm not even going to say what, because I don't want to poo-poo the company. I'm not going to mention it at all, because maybe one day I'll work with them if we can find something that works. But I got an offer for December. That's a good amount of money. I'm not going to say how much, but a lot plus commission, right? God bless the people. Hopefully we can figure it out. Mostly their stuff is really, really good. I'm just super picky with stuff. And it's I haven't done this yet. And if I do it, I want to do it right. One time it was with a company that sold food. And I said, hey, the way that this is not, I was like, it's just, and I don't want to really sell stuff. So they were like, all right, I'll see you. And then 3 months later, they came back and they were like, hey, we changed our formula, our ingredients. And now it's, this way. And I was like, oh, okay, that's good. And they're like, all right, we want to work together. So it's most people, they don't know how to say no to money. It's I'll say no to $1 billion if I don't believe in it. Seriously. If someone said, hey, anomaly, I'll give you $1 billion right now if you do this, and I didn't think it was ethical, I would say no. Most people would not do that though. And that's why the country's going to crap. You can't just blame the elites or blame one ethnicity or blame one race, or you got to buy what they're selling in order for it to be sold. So it's everybody's buying what's being sold, and it makes you in some ways almost as evil as other people. And I'm not saying it's evil to get tricked by politics, but it's this only works if everybody's playing along, and everybody is playing along. So it's even in the conservative side, people do the same thing liberals do. They just put on a cowboy hat. They're like, oh, that's how you get them. You just say Trump, MAGA, yell things and wear hats. And, then they'll pay you $20,000 to stand on that stage. But if you get $20K to do a speaking gig and saying this truth will get you kicked out and smeared by the media, are you going to say it? No, because you don't want to lose that money. Me, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? We all have to go one day. I want my legacy. I don't have that switch in me. But so many people are like, dude, you're right, but I don't want to lose this. And it's well, that's why the world is the way it is. Because, and in politics, if $100 million is given to you by a mega donor or a bunch of corporations, what does $1 million get you? I mean, you could meet the president or one of his family members for $5K, $10K. You don't even need that much money to meet somebody in the Trumps. They do donor things all the time. Pay $5,000, go to this dinner, pay $10,000, go here. You don't need that much money to have influence. If you pay $1 million, you get influence. When Pfizer gave Trump $1 million, when Bank of America gave Trump $1 million, what do you get for $1 million if $50,000 can get you at a dinner with them? What do you think $1 million gets you? I don't know. Maybe the HHS director, maybe the FDA director. Like, they're buying out Trump's administration. So I'm not hung up like acting like Trump's the only one who does it. You're right. They all do. And that's the problem. That's why I don't even care about this election. I think DeSantis is a phony. I think Trump's a phony. I think Biden's a phony. Gavin Newsom's certainly a phony. And I even think RFK is a bit of a phony, but I do like what he does with the health stuff. But I think he's a phony too. So it's like, I don't even really care about this next election. Like, I'm not mad or angry or freaking out, or I'm not going to get like, I'll laugh or make a video about it or something. But I don't even really care who wins, because it's like, it's all a joke anyway. I hope a Republican wins and they actually do something, but we'll see who wins the primary, and I'm sure I'll vote Republican, but I'm not like that torn into the fake drama of it, to be honest, because I don't know. You would hope if Trump got in, he would do something, like I think he almost like has to do more than he did last time. Like last time he didn't really do. I know people are like, he did this, he did that. Sure, he did do a few things with economy and stuff, but really like he was not really that great on illegal immigration. He kind of closed the board. Like the next guy that gets in needs to actually like do something. You know what I'm saying? Like do it all. Do everything you can right now. Do it, because your time's flying and it's never going to be easier. So you would hope if Trump won, he would crush it. You would hope he would. I hope he hires good people. I just don't see it, but he's got to be better than Biden, you would think, right? Anomaly run. I don't think politics is the only thing that changes the world. So I'll run one day. I need a lot of stuff first. I need more money. I need security. I need a family. I'm not just gonna like run like in my 30s. Like, look here, I'll talk to me when I'm like 60. I'm not running in for office anytime before that. Robbie said, Anomaly, you've been touching on things I've been hearing for years from a friend of mine. Crazy thing is you're touching the tip of the iceberg, and most don't have the courage to do that. Well, yeah, it's super scary. I mean, you could lose your job, your bank account, your, like the matrix falls on you when you touch certain icebergs. So I think that in the conservative side, I think there's a combination of things. I think that a lot of people know a lot of things, but they don't want to say it because like on the Republican side, if you say certain things, you lose everything. Like it's not free speech. It's not no safe spaces. It's all a lie. Like it's literally all a lie. And there's certain topics that you just don't question, even if you're right. They'll say it's hate speech. So it's like a lot of people are doing that. A lot of people are, in my opinion, like really dumb or something, or just very, like say like Eric Adams or, there's just certain people you're like, how did they get there? Who are these people? Like some people just like to get, like they don't have the authenticity and they don't have the soul and the spirit. So they know that the only way that they can get to the top is not by being extra soulful or great at stuff. They know they just got to like ride coattails and the power structure, And that's like, it would be like, I almost get it from a human perspective. It would be like if you're not good at basketball, but you wanted to be in the NBA, but you weren't as talented as LeBron, and you knew you were never going to be as talented as LeBron. Like, how would you get there? You'd have to like pay off like the owner or something, like that's the only way you'd get on a team because you're not good enough. I do feel like some people are like that, even in politics. Like they know they're not the best speakers. They know they're not the most honest people. They know they're not like the highest level thinkers or like the guy that's really going to make the good stuff. So a lot of what they do is copy and paste. Like they're just taking other people's opinions and generic statements. And it's like high school. Like, it's like what was that movie with like Lizzie McGuire or whatever? I don't know what it was called, or Lindsay Lohan, where they're like fetch, and then all the girls like, it's fetch. Like they just make up words and then everyone says it because it's cool. Like that's like life. That's like human nature. And that's like politics, or it's like, if Trump's like, that's fetch. Like I'm not like, Trump was cool for a while, but I'm just saying like some people will just like, they're like fetch. Let me make fetch shirts, fetch. Like they're just like, let me just do what he's doing. Like there's a lot of people in politics. Like, I'm just happy to be here. I'm not really that good at anything, but like, please let me be governor. I mean, that would be cool to raise money and be cool and take handshakes and have women like me. Please, it's like, it's the old fashioned, like, what would you do? What would you do for money? What would you do for fame? What would you do for power? Not everybody has a strong intuition. I was on a podcast recently called Mind Pump. It's one of the biggest health and fitness podcasts. And they were cool. They just did a whole interview. They liked me. And they asked like about my music career. And I told them like when I was 19 and 20, I had offers. Some guy was like, I'll fly you to Thailand, or, we'll go around the world. And like, people were giving me stuff at a young age because they knew I was talented and I had a couple million views on YouTube. Like, I had people like trying to work with me, trying to sign me to labels. And truth be told, I never wanted to be famous. I never wanted to be like rich. Like, I thought underground rap was cool. Like, my heroes were underground, not like Neo or something. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to Neo, but like, I didn't look at like someone really famous, like la la la, and be like, I want to be him. I was always like, oh, that's lame. I think it's cooler to do my thing. So when everybody offered me stuff when I was 20, 21, 22, what they were saying on the Mind Pump podcast, check it out if you want. It was a pretty good interview, but they were like, how did you have the intuition to like turn all that stuff down? Most 20-year-old guys would want the money, want the fame, want the cars, want all that stuff, whatever they're offering you. Like, how did you turn that down? It's like, I can't really explain it, but like, I just never thought that way. Like, I never got into rap music thinking. Someone said Atmosphere. It's a great example. I loved Atmosphere. Like, Atmosphere meant more to me than like a mainstream rapper. So like, I didn't get into the game to be like, let me get cars, girls, clothes, jewelry. I was like, I want to be really good. I want to be soulful. I want to have a message. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what was cool to me when I was 19. Like, I want to spread my message to the world. I want to be better than other rappers and like say something that matters. And, I was a little degenerate because I was in my 20s in college in some songs, but my best songs, I had a lot of soul and spirit. Since the time I was 19, I was writing soulful, lyrics and poetry. So, I don't know. It's like, I don't have that switch in me. And, I feel like I have somewhat of, I'm not going to say like experience, but like I got flown to across the country for label meetings. I've had meetings in New York where I went when I was like 19 or 20 and I'm in like a Sony building or something and they're talking to me. So it's like, I'm not acting like I'm so cool. I'm just like, I've been offered stuff for 10 years. It's not like I got into politics and people are like, oh, you're really, here's something. Oh my gosh, I want to be famous. Like, I don't care. I've already had those offers that were bigger and more corporate, but it never would have worked. Like, it's not, you got to be fake or not say anything. Like, if you're a mainstream rapper, you got to just say nothing, and if you say something, you lose all these connections. And I think that's why on the conservative side, I get it. It's like, you don't want to be banned from, who wants to be banned from everything? Like, either you stick with these people or you stick with these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, so a lot of people, they leave the left and then they come to the right and then they're the same people they just cling to the right and don't question anything either. And it's like, I get it. It's not fun to like isolate yourself. Nobody likes that. But with me, I'm not tempted by like stupid things. I believe in myself, where I remember when they used to bring me into label meetings when I was in my 20s, 22, 23, 24, I had no money. I had like nothing, I had nothing going for me in the sense of like, I could have used like $10,000, like $5,000, $1,000 would have been cool. Like, I had nothing. I still didn't care. I still looked at these A&Rs that were talking weird to me. And I thought to myself, I'm cooler than you. I'm realer than you. I'm better than you. I could do it without you. I don't know who you are. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you have. I always thought that way. They could never, even when I had no money and they're like, here, if you do this, we'll give you 15 grand in a contract. I'm like, I could use the money because I got nothing, but I believe in myself, and I think what I'm doing is better than what you think I should do, and I'll just do it on my own, and I don't care how long it takes. I'm gonna get it done, and I did, but in a really weird way that I never thought. But I'm really grateful. I always saw the way that rappers started doing interviews. Like Logic he's a cool rapper, but like he was even cooler in interviews. Just a nice guy. Danny Brown is pretty funny too, and it's like I saw how everything was changing. I saw how then rappers were doing interviews, and I was like, well, no one's interviewing me. I'll just interview myself. Like, I hopped on that train of just like 2016. If you like politics, just say something. You know what I'm saying? Just open a camera and say what you believe. I'll show you guys sometime I think on Instagram, because it'll get flagged on here. My first rap song, I rapped over a Lil Wayne beat when I was like 18 or 19 on like in college. I just had a little camera and I was just freestyling all the time in my dorm room. I freestyled from the time I was like 19 to 21, and I had like a couple million views, 100,000 downloads, no microphone, no equipment, just my MacBook and my camera. It's been a long, crazy journey, but I'm glad I'm here. Thank you, Cecilia. I appreciate you. Someone said Kissinger. Yeah, he died at like 100. I've been reading some quotes from him. I don't know if they're true or not. Like, so I don't want to say them now, but dude, the Kissinger quotes are crazy. Like, I knew he was like a war foreign policy guy, but that's a whole nother thing. Where did I go to college? I went to WVU, West Virginia. West Virginia. How's it go? Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is only older than the breeze. That song slaps. Everybody likes that song, but especially if you went to West Virginia, that's a fire song. Anomaly would be a good press secretary. The ladies would love it. Anomaly in a suit. Yeah, but I would be a bad press secretary because as a press secretary, you can't say what you think. You have to say what they think. You know what I'm saying? Like Karine Jean-Pierre, she doesn't believe what she's saying. She's way further left than Joe Biden, but she just has to say it because that's her job. Kayleigh McEnany, she's just saying what Trump thinks. She can't just be like, I disagree with him. So I would probably look cool in a suit, but I don't think I would do a good job because I would just if Trump said, listen, say Operation Warp Speed was really, really good and saved the world. And I'm like, I don't want to. And they're like, you have to. You're my talking piece. You're my spokesman. I'm like, do I? And then I'd go up there and I'd be like, Operation Warp Speed is one of the greatest human 100 million. I can't do it. Okay, I quit. Sorry, it's not worth it. And then they're like, oh my gosh, that's racist. And you're like, what? How's that racist? What are you talking about? Trump's white. He's orange. You're part Puerto Rican. I'm like, what? It's getting confusing out here. Someone said Karine Jean-Pierre's not good at her job. No, she comes off really dumb. She's like real airheady. Like, I don't know. She's always like blinking too. I don't know. Maybe I look stupid too. I got to watch myself because then sometimes I watch back a video and I'm like, that was not as good as I thought it was. Or I'm like, I thought my eye contact was better, but I'm looking all over the place because I run the production too. But she's always like, Joe Biden is the border secure. It's like she doesn't believe that. She's probably like low key, like she's probably like farther left. Like she probably thinks like Joe Biden's racist or something. But she won't say. She's like, anyway, he's so strong, and it's like, yeah. Karine, you're like, she's less evil than the orange girl, though. What's her name? Jen Psaki. Jen Psaki was better, but more evil. Karine Jean-Pierre is dumber, but not as evil. Like, I'd rather listen to Karine Jean-Pierre because it's like a comforting dumb, it's dumb. You could laugh at it. Jen Psaki, I felt like she was going to steal my soul. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't like talking about her because she's like, and you're like, oh, I think I did one time and they like wrote an article about it. I was like, she was crafty, but just real dark, dark energy coming from her. Same with Joe Biden. He's got very like dark eyes, not like the pretty dark eyes, like the ugly, demonic dark eyes. Anam, are you an MF Doom fan? Out of all the underground rap, I never got into MF Doom that much. I don't know why. I just didn't. I'm not like, I get them, but like, I don't know. I like Jedi Mind Tricks, Ari the Rugged Man, like Atmosphere. I'm trying to think who else, but yeah, like MF Doom, I never got into. All right, I'm gonna read a few more and then I'm gonna end this. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. I'm ending my 72-hour bone broth like Dana White fast. I saw him post it and I was like, that seems easier than a regular fast, so I'm gonna try it. I'm at like 50 hours now. I'm sweating like a damn grease monkey out here. You know what I'm saying? Drinking water. One of them's electrolyte water, one of them's other water, but I'm just going back and forth, drinking a little bone broth. But yeah, maybe I'll make a video. Do you guys want me to like make a video about that? Is that stupid? Like, I'm like, here's me, but I'm not taking pictures. The next time I take a picture of my shirt off, I'm going to be like super jacked. I'm not just doing like a 72-hour nonsense, but maybe I'll make like people keep asking me, they're like, how is it? How is it? I was like, I'll make a video about it. But then I'm one of those bloggers. I'm like, hey guys, here I just drink bone broth before and after. It's like, I don't know if that's my style, but I might do it. I might do it for the clout. I might need a piece of content, hashtag share this, hashtag do this, hashtag don't do it because I don't want to get sued, hashtag talk to your doctor, hashtag but not that doctor. I don't trust that doctor, but hashtag they make you say this or else you get sued. I might be into it. Let's see. Thank you, Cecilia. I appreciate you. Someone said just cut out the carbs and sugar. Yeah, I'm there. I'm feeling good. I'm losing weight. Hopefully not water weight. Hopefully I'm getting less fat. I know I don't look fat, but like I got a little fat, and I'm talking like a little fat. But like I played soccer my whole life. I have like really strong legs. I'm an athlete. You know what I'm saying? I could dunk. I'm good at basketball. I like all sports. And this last year, I don't know. I was just doing too much computer work, and like I've always had like 6-pack abs and stuff. And I just like looked down and I was like, yeah, you're getting a little fat there. So we'll see what happens. I want to be jacked by like, I mean, I've been pretty strong, but I'm over any fat. I'm anti-fat. You know, they say like you hate fat, not on your body, but on my body, I hate it. Not all of it, but some of it. So I want to get my abs back. That's where I'm at. Proud of you, son. Thank you, Watchman. Do a broth video. I might do it for the content. Captain Hook said, bro, we witnessed an open dark priest satanic attending the Virginia abortionist governor press conference during the scam down. Like literally, I can't tell if you're like being metaphorical or like I could also see like liberals literally doing that. They're like, we're performing a ritual. And you're like, I like the Trump rally better. They were not doing that. They were cool. The Trump rally was fun. Everybody's cool. Obviously, I like Trump supporters. I'm just annoyed that I feel like Trump is exploiting his base and nobody wants to call it out. It makes me sad because I know most Trump supporters are good people. There's good people on both sides, okay? There's good people on Trump. There's good people on Biden, but most of the better people are on the Trump side, obviously. And there's a lot of not good people on the Biden side. I'm just saying. Stuff like that. I wonder if I could still dunk, though. Maybe I can't dunk. Maybe I got too fat to dunk, and now I got to I don't know. The older I get, the harder it's going to be to dunk, too. Just I'm working against father time now. It's pretty sad. Someone said, I know I'm a good person. Good for you, Leia. I appreciate you. Keto and carnivore is great. I'm not Mr. Telling people what diet to use. I just figured my body could use a flushing out. I drink too much coffee. I'm going to try to drink less coffee. I'm off coffee for 7. Like, you know, I don't know if I've ever gone this long without drinking coffee. So it's just like I'm flushing the body out, but I'm not trying to push people to a diet because I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of winging it. I mean, I read the ingredients and I can tell what things are. I try to buy real things that aren't like chemicals or unnatural, but you know, you guys get it. All right, 2 more and then we're out. Aiden Ross would back me, no strings attached. If you just asked, back me with what though? I actually hit up the website that I think he part owns. It's called Kick. Because I don't know. It's like Rumble doesn't care about me. And no offense to Rumble. Like, obviously, I believe in people who believe in me more. They've given everybody deals and stuff. It's like, but they never talk to me. Whatever. It's fine. I don't need your money, Rumble. But, you know, as a consumer, I don't really use Rumble. So it's like if the debate's there, I'll use it. But it's not a thing I really use. So it's like, you know, so I was trying to hit up Kick, which is some new streaming platform with all these streamers. Because it seems like streamers are kind of like even more non-politically correct, like Sneeko and all those guys. They're all doing crazy stuff, saying crazy stuff, and like nobody seems to care. Where I'm like, that's kind of cool, you know, rather than I don't want to be a streamer like that, but it seems like they're outside of like the left, right? I'm just annoyed. Like you go on my Twitter and it's like Trump and DeSantis, like, oh, Trump and DeSantis and DeSantis and the Trump. It's like, I'm over that whole thing. But in general, I was hoping that this other streaming platform, I was like, hey, I got couple million followers, 1 billion views. Maybe you guys want to work. And they're like, no, like you can use our platform, but we're not doing any deals. I'm like, all right, fine. I'll just stay on Facebook and YouTube then. That's fine. Someone said Rumble sucks. I mean, I like the idea of it. I just think they doled out a lot of money and got a lot of people there, but I don't know. As a consumer, I haven't wanted to use it. Like I try to use it, but like at the same time, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, but I wish them well. I mean, they've been cool to me. Like they have been cool, but you know, they've cut some deals with a lot of people. Like they pay Steven Crowder, they pay this person. Me, they're just like, just use it. You can make, you know, you can work your ass off for 3 years, make $20. Let me look how much I made on Rumble. I'm just saying. I don't care. I mean, I don't know how many views I even get. Sometimes my videos don't even upload, but I wish them luck. I hope they crush. I want to believe in it. Let's just look for fun. How much have I made on Rumble? Let's see. Rumble. Let's log in the old backlog. Stats and earnings. Ooh, $5 this month is a big one. Let me see. All time. $142 for 100,000 views. 115,000 views and $142. Yeah. Facebook and I feel like Facebook and YouTube are a bit higher than that, but I don't know. People just don't watch my videos on there as much. BitChute, I have 2 million views, got $0, but I like the people at BitChute. I don't use BitChute, but BitChute is a website you use when you want to find some crazy video that you can't find anywhere else. Then you go on BitChute and it's there. But I post all my videos to BitChute. I had one truck driver one time. He stopped when I was in Florida in Fort Lauderdale. He goes, "Anomaly," and it was literally he was driving a bread truck delivering bread, and I was like, "What's up?" He's like, "Dude, I know your stuff." I was like, "Oh, that's what's up." I was like, "Where'd you out?" He's like, "On BitChute." I was like, "You recognize me from BitChute? That's fire." I was super pumped because everyone's always like, "Oh, from Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or your music." Sometimes it's never BitChute. I know you. I was like, "I know you from Rumble." No one said that to me yet, but maybe one day. Someone said that's 0.1 cent a view. It's crazy out here. And I'm trying to figure out, I'll read my business model because I said it the other day, but I typed it out because I was like, I'm not trying to go broke out here, but I'm also not trying to stress over the mighty dollar bill. Got to have fun. I said, this is my business model for next year. Let me find it because I already forgot. What a bad CEO I'll be if I don't even remember my own business model. I said, 1, I want to make great work. Don't settle for good. Just be great. There's a lot of competition. You can't be average anymore. I got to be really good or else people aren't going to want to watch it. And that's fair. Help more people and put more underrated people on. In my first couple of years, I think I did a lot to help a lot of other people for no other reason than I thought I was really fire. And I've been so busy. It's not even like I've been selfish or anything. I've been just so busy that I haven't even thought that way because I'm just running around and just so much stuff going on. My taxes are crazier to file now. It took me 2 months to do all this crap. It's crazy, but taxes are so gross. But I was like, help more people, put more underrated people on, make great work, stress less, work hard and smart, enjoy life, stay grateful, make money without sacrificing purpose, authenticity, or values. It's tough too. If I don't feel 100% about it, I'm just I don't know. It's hard though. But it's okay. Let me read a few more. Actually, one more. I feel energetic off the water, dude. This water gets you higher than anything. You drink a little bit of water. You guys ever had water before? No, just how many hours am I at? Let me see. 24, 48. I'm at 50 hours. Just straight water. No coffee. I don't even need coffee. It was like a crutch. I'm just oh, I got to drink it. I got to work. That's how I was last year. I got to work. I got to drink a coffee. It's my third coffee of the day because I got to do my third video. It's I'm off the water now. My stomach just rumbled. I can't wait to eat. I think tomorrow what I'm going to do is wait till the 72nd hour. I might keep it going if I feel good. If not, I'm going to eat just steak. I know this little skirt steak I like. That's just steak. It's so clean. I'm going to just eat steak the first day. I'm going to eat healthy as long as I can. But the second that I don't feel like eating healthy anymore, I'm going to eat a fat burger. I already know what burger I'm going to eat. I can't wait. I'm visualizing it right now. Eat healthy for a little while, lose some weight, look good. And then that burger's getting crushed. Maybe Saturday, UFC's on, be a fatty, just order a pound burger, some potato wedges, just doused in freaking canola oil. I want it, but it's not good, but I should. I don't know. We'll see. Someone said, I want to buy you a big dinner, my friends. I'll take a free dinner. Let me know. Maybe I'll take you up on it. Buy me a burger. I want one right now. Someone said you're on the right side of history. Love your content. Thank you, Mokomo. It's a cute name. You got hearts next to it. It looks like you look like an anime character. I'll just assume you're that literal cartoon in real life. That's fire. Someone said Theo Vaughn fasted so hard and said he could hear a Skittle drop to the concrete across the street. Dude, it's kind of crazy. It's not that bad, but time is going slower. But I woke up at 5:30. I worked out. It's been a good time. It's been a good experience. But there's been times where you have thoughts, like I have a thought of like a burger just walking towards me like, hey, and then I'm just like, I just want to take a bite out of it. Like I've thought that a few times. I know the exact burger I want to get to. I want it so bad. But if I ate it now, I would feel so bad about myself. Like I'd just be sitting on the couch just chomping. That's what I've been doing that a lot because I work kind of late. Like it's 8:51 right here. I'll do a video. I'll do this. And then after I do the video, I got to do podcasts, emails. I'm doing all this stuff, right? Twitter, whatever. And then by the time I'm done, it's like 11 o'clock and nothing's around and I don't really have stuff in my house and I'm like, I've been ordering too much food, but the thing is nothing's open late. So I used to, for 3-4 years, I never ate fast food. I never ate Taco Bell, McDonald's, anything. But I don't know. There's something about if you're just lit and it's like 1 a.m., there's just something about a 1 a.m. burger that's just so good. And like, I'm not even mad that I did it because I love eating, but it's like, is that good eating a burger at 1 o'clock? It's terrible. Like I've been going to bed at like 10, 11, waking up at 6, 5:30. That's a good way to live. But if you're not going to live that way, it is just fire to eat like 3 burgers at 1 a.m. But that's like why I lost my 6-pack is because I'm eating 3 burgers at 1 a.m. But, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't regret it because I kind of want to do it right now. This feels like Lizzo's, confessions, like at a Catholic church or something. You just over here, you're like, who's in there? Person's freaking. No, I'm just kidding. Jokes. I'm joking. It's totally not hate speech. I'm sorry. Can you make fun of her now because she made fun of someone else and she's in trouble? I feel like you can. When she's not in trouble, you can't make fun of her. But once she's in trouble, it's like, okay, you can say whatever. Like, we can't fat shame anybody. And then you talk to a liberal, you're like, what about Trump? And they're like, oh, he's fat. He's a fat orange fat, fatty orange fat. And they're like, I thought we couldn't fat shame people. Trump's not a human. It's like, that's kind of crazy. He's definitely like real, I think. I saw him at the rally. He looked real from afar. I mean, maybe it could have been a hologram, but I'm pretty sure he's a human. Someone said, I found you when you debated high impact flicks. That was funny. Appreciate it. Yeah, that was a good time. I'll try to do some more debates or something. I don't know. I want to have Roseanne on my show this month, Andy Frisella from First Form, and Jim Brewer. I think those are the 3 guests I'm gunning for because they'd all be fun. I like them. I think I'm going to have Roseanne on, and I want to talk to Roseanne about like her life. Like everybody, like we're all talking about politics, and I'm sure she's been weighing in on a lot of foreign policy and stuff. But I want to like go through like, all right, what, like you got your show, then you were on here, and then I would like to give like a good like full circle interview. That would be fun for me. All right, appreciate you guys. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. Let me know what you think. Just to wrap it up, I know I got way off topic there, but I don't regret it for a second. That was fun. Gavin Newsom, Ron DeSantis debated. I would say I think Ron DeSantis did really, really well. A lot of people beforehand were saying, oh, he's going to get crushed by Newsom. He shouldn't dare. Why should he do it? Here's my personal opinion. Trump strategically should sit out the debate. Strategically, Trump made the right move. But ethically, I feel like it's kind of whack. But that's fine. DeSantis, he's losing in a lot of the polls. Like, why shouldn't he do something that elevates his status in general? And also a red state, blue state debate is a great idea because you get to like actually compete with ideas and see how you guys respond to each other. So it's like, I don't shame DeSantis for going into the debate. I think he did great. I don't think Newsom did really well, but I do think he's very slippery. Like, he's definitely smarter. You only see him in little clips. You never see him talk and debate for an hour. Newsom is way smarter than I thought he was. I thought he was way dumber than that. Like, you listen to some of these Democrats and they're like, duh, like they're really dumb. He's not dumb. He's super smart. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to finesse it. I think DeSantis slapped him down, like I would say 4 out of 6 times. Like a few times this Newsom looked okay, but like most time DeSantis really hammered it home. But I get the game that Newsom's playing. Ignore what the question is. Say the talking points. Know that we live in a social media age and the talking points are what people are going to see, not the question, and people will share it. Here's a talking point for Trump supporters. Here's a talking point for liberals. Here's a talking point for people like abortions. Ignore the questions. Ignore what he's saying. Just think about what people are going to share. Like, he's very smart with that. And DeSantis did that too. He had a bunch of points, but DeSantis did, I think, more try to actually answer the question and be more honest. And Newsom had, like they have a stat and it's false. It's like he's trying to act like there's no crime in California or something. Like, it's just like, he's trying to act like taxes aren't. Everybody knows taxes are terrible in California. Everyone, it's not good for poor people or working class people or middle class people or lower class people. It's not good for anybody. It's even worse if you make money. It's like, it sucks. And it's like, he's up there trying to spin. Like, in my opinion, some of the spins people will fall for, they'll spin like, you'll never be president spin. They'll fall for the, oh, you did, what did he say? Like, oh, the abortion spin. But how in the world could you fall for the tax spin and the crime spin? Like, if you live in any part of California, like, doesn't everyone know that? So that's what I'm wondering. Like, where are people at? I'm in my own world. I'm not going to lie. Like, I don't know where everyone's at. Like, if you don't know there's more crime in Los Angeles than there was like 7 years ago. Like, forget the stats. Okay, there's this stat, there's that stat. The FBI has this statistic and that statistic, and the police had this. Yeah, sure. What about me? I lived there for 7 years. As I used to walk places, there's more homeless every year. There's more security guards. It's not safe anymore. Like, I saw it with my own eyes. Yeah, you have stats, but like, you can't see that. Or you live in an area, there's more break-ins, houses are getting broken into. Like, everyone sees that all over the country, everywhere. So for him to act like California, that's not happening. I don't know. That was kind of like crazy to me, but do people fall for that? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Let me know in the comments. Appreciate you guys. Have a good day, and I will be back with more videos soon. Check out dreamrarelinks.com. I have an Instagram page. I have a new TikTok page because they deleted my other TikTok, and apparently I should get another one. I have a shop, dreamrare.com. I'm wearing this. I didn't even show it, but God is great. Look at this, folks. You can see I've had this, and you can see how nice the lettering still looks. I've had this for like 2 years. I've washed it probably. I'm trying to like figure out the angles because it's backwards. I washed it probably like 15 times at this point in my life. I just gave one to my sister. She said it was the most comfortable sweatshirt she's ever had. I really like these sweatshirts, and also beanies, black beanies, blue beanies. For real, this is not a new sweatshirt. I've had this one for, when did I start selling them? Whenever I started selling them, that's when I got this one. I've never gotten a new one. This is from 2021, possibly. I don't know. Is that when I started selling them? Last year? I don't remember. Whenever I started selling them, whether it was 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, that's when I got that. I think it was, I don't know. Time flies when you get locked in your house and forget how old you are. Have a good day, guys. I'll be back soon. Hey, what's going on, my friends? Just a few ways to stay in touch and support if you'd like to. The first way is dreamrare.com. We have blue beanies, black beanies, pink hats, other colored hats, freedom versus tyranny shirts, stay blessed long sleeve, God is great long sleeve, and lots of more cool items coming soon. Dreamrare.com. Check out the shop to support. Everything's made in the United States. Handpicked by me. Patreon.com/raretalk for $5 a month. You can help support me, support the show. If you haven't noticed, unlike other channels, I don't work with very many sponsors, sometimes none at all. And part of the way I'm able to do that is with the dreamrare.com shop and patreon.com/raretalk. So thank you guys for keeping this show free, unimpeded, uninterrupted. I'm forever grateful. My free email list is stayintouchwithme.com. So check the links below in the description, or just type in on any browser, stayintouchwithme.com, all one word. You'll find my email list, put it in there, and it's the least annoying email list you'll ever be on. I barely use it because I don't like getting emailed every day or every week. It's annoying. So I don't do it. Stayintouchwithme.com. It helps me take back some power away from big tech. Telegram, t.me/dreamrarechat or @dreamrarechat. Due to censorship, I post all my live stream and videos there. Sometimes I have some bonus content, and I try to give people a heads up when Facebook or YouTube won't. DreamRareChat at Telegram. My Instagram is @DreamRare. Thanks for everybody following there for shorter content. And DreamRareLinks.com, that's DreamRareLinks.com, has all my stuff. My